Hi guys, Dennis from Canoehound Adventures here. Currently right now I'm up north on a piece of crown land on a lake. I won't divulge exactly where I am, but I'm up here with my buddy Dave and my father Jack, and we're just here for the weekend doing a little bit of fishing and carrying on, of course. But just before I left on the trip, I was quite happy to receive something in the mail, something that I had ordered. And just to give you a little bit of history on exactly what's going on here. Received this package in the mail, and this, I know exactly what it is. I'm just very excited to have finally received it again. I'll go back a little bit. I had, years ago, I had purchased a Victorianox knife or multi-tool that was something that is very good quality. And it's something that I was hoping to be able to pass on to a grandchild down the road because it is such a good quality piece. So essentially, going back a couple videos when I was doing my solo canoe trip in Algonquin Park, I was looking for the tool, and I knew I had it in the console of my truck. And when I went to retrieve it, I had discovered that somebody had broken into my truck fairly recently, obviously, because I remember having seen it in there, you know, a couple days before. And they proceeded to steal my Victorianox knife and a pair of glasses and some spare change and another jackknife that I had in there. And of course, of all that stuff, I was most disappointed and pretty angry that I had lost the Victorianox knife. I had Canoehound Adventures laser etched into that about 7 or 8 years ago when I originally purchased it. My phone number, so you never know. It might find its way back to me one day, but I'm it's very unlikely that I will receive it. So I went online and I checked through Amazon and I checked through a couple of other sites, and I happened to find a company that was located in Windsor, Ontario. I believe it's called Williams Food Services. They happen to have these things on sale. And when I ordered it, which was probably about 5 weeks ago, I had to order something else as well, a butcher knife for home. And that butcher knife from home happened to be on back order. So I waited, like, I'd say 4 to 6 weeks I waited for this, for something that I should have had in a couple of days. But when it finally did come in was actually the day before we left to come up on this trip, which you'll see the video is right here. No, sorry. Yeah. That's like, I always get the reverses wrong with this here. But I know, okay, so I'll put the link here to our video of our trip there with me, Dave from Beastly Ironworks, and my dad Jack, who you've probably seen in one of my my recent live streams. But I just wanted to open this package. I thought I would bring it up here and actually do the unveiling video up here from the camp that we've actually made up. So I'll just basically unpackage this here and unveil it. And like I said, I'm really happy to have gotten this because it's something that I was so disappointed, and I mean so very disappointed, that somebody actually broke into my vehicle. For one, did no damage to the vehicle. I must have left the doors unlocked, which I rarely do. And yeah, neighborhood kids come through and, you know, had their way with whatever they wanted. The funny thing is, and the joke is on them, there was a $100 Canadian Tire gift card sitting right there. My pair of Ray-Bans are sitting right there. The glasses that they took were actually my cheap dollar store reading glasses. So the joke is on them, pretty much. So, yep, exactly. Okay, so it's exactly what I had expected. I just want to show you here very quickly. So essentially, it's a Victorianox knife. It comes in a very nice leather sheath. This one here appears to be a little lighter than what I had originally had in my on the original one. But the other one was getting older, so the leather would have started to darken up. And this one here, what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to add some weatherproofing or some, like, you know, I've got something that my buddy James from JP Outdoors had sent me, some weatherproofing wax type of stuff that will go on there, made from beeswax. And let's see if there's any surprises here. Exactly what I remembered. Victorianox. So this is the Victorianox Swisstool Spirit. And it's got the jackknife blade, not the serrated blade on it, because they do have two that are very similar. It's got a wrench with a wire cutter. All the tools in it actually lock very well. Seems to be a lot of oil on it, and I'm sure they do that just to keep it from seizing up. But we've got the jackknife, you know, a bunch of different tools. And the reason why I was so heartbroken, like I said, this tool, I always wanted a good one, and a bunch of times I had purchased a bunch of these types of tools, and they were just cheap, they were heavy, they rusted, they were garbage. And I had always wanted one that was going to be good quality. Great little saw blade on it. Not that you're going to be cutting big trees, but it can get you out of a pinch. And a really good file with a fine and a coarse side. A bunch of screwdrivers. There's like Robertsons and there's Phillips. Can openers. Here's the Phillips screwdriver. And it's got a really handy pair of scissors. Right, for whether clipping your fishing line, or you know, trimming your nails, or clipping them nose hairs, or whatever. But yeah, so I just wanted to do this unveiling and to say to the jerks out there who actually invaded my privacy by going into my vehicle and stealing something that to me was very important. The change I could care less about. Obviously, the dollar store glasses I could care less about. But to those idiots that actually broke into my vehicle and stole something that meant so much to me, and something that I could hand down to my grandchildren, joke's on you. I got another one. Yeah, it cost me another $100 to get this, but I would have done it again in a heartbeat if I had to. So this one here obviously is not going and not going to be staying in my truck. I will be keeping this one in the house. So that if this ever happens again, I will not be losing another one of these. So for those of you that have never had the experience of owning a Victorianox, it's the same company that makes the Swiss Army knives. Those are the ones you typically see. They're red, and they have multiple styles. You know, everything from the picnicker all the way up to the camper and a Boy Scout one, and they've got a million different tools that they could put into these things. But the quality of them is always top notch, and same goes for this. I know there's a lot of different brands out there. You can get the Gerbers, you can get the Leatherman tools. I've checked all them out, and by far I believe this to be one of the best multi-tools on the market. So if you haven't checked them out, please do check them out. Just to give you the tool number, this particular model is the, where is it here? I've got it here on the paperwork somewhere. The exact model that it is. Maybe it's not on here. But I will put it in the description. I will put a link to this actual knife in the description below. And give it a look, because they do have a couple of different models. I think this is the 0224, and then there's also an 0227. So check them out, Victorianox, Swisstool Spirit. It's a great multi-tool, and if you have one, or if you would like to have one, you will not be disappointed. So this is Dennis with Canoehound Adventures saying, remember people, keep the adventures alive.